Well, it looks like the silver investors got their backs up to the wall again. And I know we got another alien girl here with the silver. But basically, that's how most silver investors are viewed by the financial world, as like from outer space. In other words, if you tell the responsible investor that is well versed in managing money, and you told them, I put most of my money into silver bullion, they would look at you like you're from another planet. That's really what they do. I think they're wrong, though. I don't really care. So we got to come up with it. I wish I had a much, much, much bigger channel because I know the scams I would play, and there'd be much more realistic scams versus the. And this was right off of the news unit. He actually put this little image out there in reference to BJF and the SGT guy. And I was listening to those videos, and I was like, yeah, same old spiel. Silver's the best investment, and it can't go on down to zero. But you know what? It's going down in valuation to the U.S. dollar. That's the reality behind it, and actually that's what we trade in. In other words, that's what we do our business in the United States, the U.S. dollar. So if silver's going down relative to that. Now, part of that reason is our buddy Ben. This would be my plan with this guy. You know, I don't have enough clout to make this influence, but this is what I would do. Well, our buddy Ben on this last FOMC meeting, you know, he's not. At first, it was looking a little like he was going to talk about QE3, right? But nope, he basically said nope, no hints about that. You know, a couple days before the FOMC meeting, it sounded a little like he was. I almost kind of smell this coming up, but I still think it's coming up pretty soon because he's going to have to act if the markets crash down. And I'm almost got my intuition is telling me outside event, and that's going to lead to a war with Iran, and that's going to bring the markets down. But if the markets go down enough, QE is going to happen, and he's going to act because he'll have full authorization to do that. In other words, everybody behind him to act because it's a national emergency. Now, this is what I would love to do. Basically, bribe him. You know, all the silver investors ought to send him notes. You know, if we had enough millions to give him these notes. In other words, postcards. Ben, do QE3, do QE3. We'll thank you forever. When silver hits $55 an ounce, we're all going to send you 1 ounce and you're going to be wealthy. I mean, it would be worth it to give him 1 ounce, right? Big deal. And he can implode the economy and he'd be wealthy himself. We'd have to get him in on the program, you know. Just like he works for the banksters, he could work for the silver hoarders too. That would be a better deal than Sprott ever did, or you know, the other people way back with the the ones that are manipulating silver. So that would be my way of doing things, but unfortunately, I don't have enough clout. But my theory would be, Ben, if you do QE and you get the price of silver up over $55 an ounce, we're all going to send you 1 ounce, and you'll be all hooked up for life too. And we'll hide you out in the hills someplace in Utah when all the crap goes to kablooey, you know. So that's my spiel, okay? But it's a lot different from the SGT and the BJF, you know. These guys, I don't know, they don't think outside the box. But like I stated, you know, most of us silver investors, you know, if you look at the real world out there in finance, they'll look at you like you're on crack if you told them, yeah, put most of your money into silver. And, you know, everything's going to implode and the dollar's going to zero and the only way you're going to survive. Well, I think part of it's true, you know. The dollar probably, I don't know where it's going. There's a couple other things out there, though, that indicate things, you know, and it's been going on forever, right? I guess Rome doesn't fall that fast, but I don't like comparing it to Rome because the fiat money system really is based upon oil. And I guess when the war heats up with Iran, that's when you're going to see your silver, gold, and oil investments really start taking off. And that's the reality behind the situation. That's not conjecture. It's just a matter of when is this going to start. And I know it's been talked about for years. Actually, the Iran war has been talked about for 5 years at least, you know. But It does look like it's getting damn close. I mean, there's enough aircraft carriers in the vicinity, and there's enough talk going on, so any child can figure out, hey, it's coming up soon. But that's really bullish for investments, QE or not, right? So, the actual people that look at us like we're crazy aliens from outer space for investing in physical silver, those experts are wrong. And I did point out, every single person way back in 2000, 2001 that was a financial expert, the best in the business, 35 years with all the initials after their names, every single one of them was flat out wrong. If you would have told them, I'm going to put all my money in gold and silver back in 2000, 2001, you'd have been up so much money, despite the recent pullbacks in the last 11 months or whatever, you'd have been up so much money, you'd have left everybody in the dust. So, even though we're looked at as a little eccentric and crazy in the investment world, it is absolutely correct. But I kind of do agree with some of the stuff I don't like on the, I don't know, I disagree with some of the stuff on the major silver channels. I don't know, they're like the same old garbage going on, and everything's a big conspiracy and blah, 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 and the banksters crap, I look at it this way, we ought to set this program up with Ben Bernanke. He pushed the price of silver up to $55 an ounce. We all give him an ounce and he gets rich and we can go hide him someplace. Anyway, so silver's down a little bit, and that's, a lot of it was news about the FOMC meeting. Now, there's other things on the horizon, like China is not buying U.S. treasuries anymore. What they're doing is they're buying dollars, but they're buying them from other countries that are holding dollars. They're not buying U.S. treasuries from, the treasury, from the open window. They get their direct access they got now. They're buying it from other countries and they're giving it, their Chinese yuan in exchange. That's what they're doing. And I think they're actually basically sellers of dollars. And you know what? I don't think you can actually get at the numbers that well, because I don't trust any numbers. That's why sometimes I use a lot of times common sense. China's got such a hard landing coming up, and they're not going to really have the hard landing, but it's going that way. What's going to happen with the Central Bank of China is they're going to actually do a lot of easing. They're going to do a lot of spending, and they're going to do a lot of things to prop up their economy. And what are they going to do with their U.S. dollar reserves? So I don't know how much longer they could play this game, where the dollar's got this much worth. I think a lot of people are just jumping into it because it's been a tradition for so long and the euro's got problems. Another thing coming up with the euro, this was like a recent chart about the Spanish bonds, the yields. This is just like the other day. They shot way up. That's a bad sign for the euro. And that's also why the dollar is looking pretty good right now. So it's all relative. But really what I'm concerned about is silver, gold, platinum, and palladium. And right now, Ben Bernanke put QE on a back burner for a while. What we really need is outside events to move the metals up, and that might be coming up. I put that little story about there, which I thought was interesting, about Secretary of State Hillary Clinton having an assassination attempt on her, and while she was traveling in Israel. So I don't know if that's one of them false flag attacks or whatever. I don't know what the hell it was. That's all conjecture if you say it's a false flag attack, because you really can't prove nothing anyway or whatever. But the incident does highlight that anything could start the war with Iran. Even just last week, there was a mistake by the U.S. Navy where they shot up this ship they thought was some kind of pirates or something like that. They turned out to be an Indian ship, an Indian vessel, and it killed Indians, right? Now, if they would have mistakenly killed some Iranians on that deal, that's just happened like in the last several days, that would have probably been the beginning of the war right there. It could have escalated because, they wouldn't apologize for anything like that, and Iran probably would have been so pissed off they would have done something back. So this thing can take off at any time. Actually, this incident with a conflict in the Middle East is going to be one of the things that's going to drive up oil, gold, and it's silver. So it's going to do it. Now, as far as when that's going to happen, you know, I swear, and I don't know if this is true because too many people are talking about it, but it's about the Olympics, the false flag attack, you know, being blamed upon Iran and all this type of stuff. I don't know. If you really read into that stuff, it's too lengthy for me to get into here. I got my suspicions about that. So, you know, so could happen, maybe, maybe not. You know, I remember like when 9/11 happened, I personally wasn't so super surprised. I was kind of looking at it like, yeah, no kidding, you know. Since nobody knows where I used to work, my boss said, too bad that wasn't the IRS. And he goes like, oh. I thought that was quite humorous because that was like right from the heart. You know, and he saw something blowing up. He says, too bad that wasn't the IRS. But anyway, I don't know. But as far as Ben Bernanke goes, if I had a large channel out there with millions of viewers, I'd start a program, start sending them postcards. Ben, do QE, do QE, do QE. If you get silver up to $55 an ounce by the end of the year, we're all going to promise you an ounce. And we'll send it to them. So, actually, we'd have to have an escrow account for them to make sure we're not lying. So, we'd have to have an escrow account. But that would be the way to do it. And then he'd be hooked up and we can go hide him someplace. And he can make us wealthy and implode the rest of the country. And the silver kooks can go live out in the mountains and stuff just like BJF and this SGT says we're going to do, and we'll all be happy, right? I mean, I'm just joking about this stuff, but it gets really crazy when you start listening to all these conspiracies out there and stuff like that. But bottom line, silver's going up, and you know, just hang on. I know our backs are to the wall, but even without QE, there's another outside event that can actually drive up the metals quite a bit. You might see if there's an attack on Iran or Iran attacks us or whatever. Yeah, I know they're not going to attack us, but it might be looked that way. You might see a real pullback, but you might see a spike go really a lot faster, and that could actually push QE going. So you never know. You never know. It's like there's a number of things coming up, and the other thing I was talking about is with the budgets. You know, raising the debt ceiling. That's bullish for gold if they start bickering about that a lot. So even though it looks like our backs are to the wall for now, and everybody's predicting, you know, $4 silver, $18 silver, I don't think it's going down that low. And it's going to be quite a turnaround when it does. Not just piping up and cheering a crowd on. I'm looking at reality, so that's the way it's going to be, and I'm sure of it.